Thank you everyone for attending our webinar. Right, so today's content is a bit more specific. Okay, so today's content is more towards Autodesk Inventor usage, which is to customize the content center or the libraries. Okay, so Autodesk Inventor comes with a very vast numbers of libraries, standard parts. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, it's around 1.2 or 1.3 millions of standard parts variations. Okay, so let's see how do we add more to that content center. Okay, so since today's session is more very specific, so I believe everyone is familiar with Autodesk Inventor. Okay, so first, what is Inventor Content Center, or in this session we call it CC in shorts. Okay, so basically, like I mentioned earlier, so Content Center is a repository on numbers of parts. Okay, in the so-called, you can call it in a library. Okay, Content Center can um, can be considered or specified as things like fasteners, all the piping size, all the steel structures, specs and size. Okay, all that is also considered part of Content Center. Okay, Autodesk provide very huge numbers, 1.2 millions. Okay, so now let's look at how do we add our own. Okay, so it's either we add our own or we specify or we copy from any existing content center, any existing standard, example from the NC or ISO, and then you want to add new size or new specs to it. So you can also do that. Okay, so now let's see. So what can we custom? So we can create, modify any content center libraries. You can rename it accordingly, maybe differently, up to your company standard, or you can even add your own sizes. Okay, redefine and modify CC table is for the sizing. Okay, and then we can also add in, let's say your customer or your company have your own products, which is you always reuse it, right? So you can add to the content center or to the library so that you can always call back. Okay, you can reuse it from time to time and add more instances or specs from time to time as well. Okay, so controlling content center structure. So let's look at how the structure looks like. So here is how a standard content center editor looks like. You know, we have the category view, fasteners, bolts, screw nuts, countersunks, okay, shaft parts, bearings, and so on. And all there's more subcategories under that. Okay, so first thing is we need to create our own custom library. So by default, I believe everyone is aware that it comes with all these NC, ISO, right? You can see on the right-hand side, you can see Inventor DIN, ISO, JIS, Parker Rotate System, and so on. So all this is read-only. If you can see, it's all read-only because it's by default, it comes with Inventor installations. But in case we want to add a new parts or new library into this content center, we have to create a new library, okay, so that it becomes, and then give it a read-write access so that we can always add and edit whatever is inside the library. Okay, so how to create is basically very simple. So under your project, so I believe you're familiar with your projects dialog box. So at the low right-hand side, you have Configure CC Libraries button. Okay, you can see the red box here, Configure CC Library. So once you click on that, and then it will show, it will ask you for library names. So we give library names accordingly. So maybe your company standards or your company specifications. Okay, so there are two types. So when we create content center, there are two types. So either it's the default content center, which is, or desktop content, we call it. It's all installed in the local PC, or if you are using Vault Professional, so we can also create content center libraries that's on Vault at DMS console. So it's basically stored on Vault so that everybody will have access to the same libraries. Okay, so that's a different story. So this is only if you are using Vault Professionals. Okay. So now we can see that here is how we create read and write access libraries. Okay, maybe let me just turn off. Okay, So from your normal Inventor interface, okay, so if we are not sure where to find the read-write, how to create a read-write access libraries, we just go to File and Manage, and then Projects. So, and then this interface is very common. It's been around for some time. Okay, make sure we have the correct project name. Okay, and then configure Content Center libraries for that specific project. So this Content Center libraries will tie to the project. Okay, so now this is all by default. You can see this is all read-only. Most of them are read-only. So I created one, my library, that have read-write. Okay, so to add a new one, or either we can just turn off, okay, or we want to add a new one, we just create library and give some names that's suitable for our usage. Okay, and then make sure it's checked. So if it's checked, means it's enabled. So if you somehow forget to check it, and it will not show in a later process where you want to copy all the standard files into your libraries. Okay, so make sure it's checked, and then the access is read right. Okay, so that is just now how to create. So now customizing existing Content Center families. So what we can do, how to customize Content Center family. So there are three things that we need to know. So family properties. So family properties is the name of the family files. So let's say if you have ISO 7361, okay, and then with maybe a prefix of your company name. So this is where you need to adjust and change the naming. Okay, so maybe the standard, the manufacturer or the producer of the parts. So you can also add in this naming. So basically, file properties, you just refer it as all the file naming information that you will use during your part list creation or BOM creation. So family table is different. Family table is all the information about sizing. Okay, so all the size, radius, length, all for the family table. So family model template is more towards the part templates. Okay, additional properties that you want to use later stage. Okay, so where do we access this? So we can only access this through, of course, assembly interface, and then in the assembly interface, or I think part interface also, you have access to this. You just go to Manage tab. You can see there's a Content Center tab at the end. Usually it's the far end of the screen. Okay, we have editor. So once we click that editor, then you will see all of this. Okay. So Content Center editor, and then you'll see the file, the category structure. Okay, we can filter the file by category, cable harness, fastener, and so on. Okay, so remember that we need to make sure that we have read-write library so that we can, example, in this case, I want to copy a round head screw. Okay, so I can just right click and then copy to. So copy to all our editable or read-write library. Okay, and then we can further restructure it or manage it by creating a proper folder or category for it. Okay, family properties, as you can see here, family properties contains all the information like family names, so descriptions. Okay, manufacturer. So example, your company create a custom bolt example. So you can put your company name as the manufacturer. Okay, standard organizations is the specs that it follows. Okay, or maybe you want to add custom, maybe your company name, you can also do that. You can see the filtrations when you want to insert the components. Okay, so family table, add custom columns. So this is the information about the sizing. So this requires a bit of data entry. So we can add maybe new size or new destinations, new specs. Okay. Okay, an example in this case, we're adding a new vendor. Okay, so restructuring library structure, and we can add a new custom sizes. So let's see how we can do that. So again, under manage, okay, Content Center editor. So this is our Content Center editor dialog box. Okay, from here, okay, you can see libraries, we can filter out by what we want to see. Okay, NC, Deans, feature, and so on. Okay, this is all the standard one, which is already been made available. Okay, if we put merge view, it will just show a combination of all the standards. Now, I saw something weird, which is I cannot see my read-write library. So I need to go back to my projects. Okay, and then go down and see I need to enable my read-write library. In this case, it's the SD library that we just created earlier. Okay, enable this. Okay, make sure save, and then again, we go back to our Content Center editor. And then we can see now under the filtration, we have this SD library now. Okay, so at the moment, it's empty, so nothing is in there. So we need to add things, so add components into our SD libraries in this case. Okay, so we can filter if we want, but at the moment, it's empty. We can change to, let's say, Inventor NC. So we can go in, let's say I go to fastener, expand, maybe go to bolt. Okay, look for hexagon head. So and then under hexagon head folder, I can just choose one type. I can copy the whole folder, or I can copy one by one. Okay, depends on the requirement and the need. In this case, I just want to copy hex bolt and copy to. You can see I have SD library, which is we just created earlier. So copy to SD library. So it will copy that parts or that content center parts into our new editable libraries. So from there, I can just make some, if I want to, I can change file naming, adjust the file properties. Okay, so this is where we make all the amendment, all the changes. The NC standard is all there. You can add the manufacturer details, you can add more standards. Okay, parameter mapping. Okay, this is all the mapping to the parameter. Okay, like length, sizes. Okay, so and then under our family tables, so let's say we just go down and see this is all this part itself already have like 200 plus of variations, 255 in this case. Okay, so let's say we just want to add a new one. So let's say nominal diameter 72. Okay, so how to add, but nominal length is maxed out at 160 and 180. So now I want to create same component, diameter 72, but with nominal length of 170. So I just add a new row, okay, and then adjust the nominal length. Okay, and then under here, so let's just put 170. Okay, so once I apply, it will automatically updates, reflect the whole downstream from all the file naming. You can see nominal length. Just now we change. Okay, we just change nominal length and it updated under destinations. Okay, straight away M72 times 6 times 170. Okay, and then go down, you can see M72. Okay, it's not showing the length here. See, size designations also show 170. 170. Okay, it's update the whole downstream. So now, next, after we done with all the, basically just copy and add a new size, right? So we just need to check and test. Let's try to insert that new parts just now. Okay, that new libraries into our screen. Okay, so let's just go hexagon head. Okay, and then go down and look for hexagon bolts. Just now I was just showing you the standard. If you put like a custom standard, it will show custom standard, easier for us to choose. But in this case, let's just use NC and then hexagon head. So then look for the same parts. Okay, so in this case, hexagon, hex bolt metric. Let's just add it. Okay, let's look at the size. Just now we just make changes to M72. M72, and you can see there's new nominal length, which is 170, the one that we just created. So apply. We apply and place it, and then so one moment for the first time, probably take a few seconds. Right, and then let's just place it. And then you can see that it's created. Let's just expand. Okay, so now it's already created the new parts with the new specs. Okay. Now, we go into publish new content center contents. All right, so this is more like adding in our own parts, okay, our own contents to the libraries. So how do we do that? Okay, but first we need to understand the types of component that we can publish. Okay, so what we can publish standalone component, which is standalone component is maybe the one that we created ourselves, normal parts. Okay, and then iParts. Okay, if you're familiar, so iPart is also normal parts but with configurable parameters. Okay, and then specialty authored content like a fastener, custom frame generator, gears, all that is considered as specialty authored content. But the methods to do it is also very similar. Okay, so first with standalone content, let's say we are creating just one wood plank. Okay, so maybe it's just one size. Okay, so we can just insert it as just one size, and then maybe in future we just add to the library, add the size to the library and parameter so that we can further enhance it in the future. Or let's say you already created an iPad components. So iPad components comes with all the sizes, part number, all the parameters already set with in this case is with length, width, thickness, and materials. All these properties, all the properties from the parts can be put in or can be inserted into the libraries as well. Okay, iPad table rows convert to Content Center family table rows. Okay. So it will automatically convert to custom column expressions in the family table. Okay, then we look at specialty authored content, things like frame generator, okay, or maybe flexible host. So this is an example of our specialty authored content where we can also create and add to the Content Center libraries. Okay, so now let's look at how do we custom Autodesk Inventor frame generator profile. So in this example, it covers all the things that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so let's just look at this. Okay, so as a best practice, make sure the project is correct. Okay, make sure you have the correct projects, or you want to copy it to the dedicated project for you to create custom library. You can also do that depending on how you want to manage your libraries. Okay, so in this case, I just want to use my read-write libraries, or I can create a new one. Okay, so let's just create one custom frame generator. So I want to create libraries just for custom frame generator. Okay, so just create it and make sure that it's read-write. Okay, and then what we do next is let me just go to the component. So this is the so-called custom frame generator profile that we want to add into our library. So I already preset it with iPads. Okay, you need to have start and end plane. Okay, as the indication of the length. Okay, how much is the length? We can set it to follow the selections. Okay, as usual, frame generator works. Okay, make sure everything is fully constrained. Okay, so in this, I'm not adding the length. So I just want to control the ID, okay, the internal diameter with radius. And the other information that I want to control is the diameter. I mean, the smaller diameter, as you've seen on the sketch. Okay, so this is the two components, the two parameters or two dimensions that I want to control. Okay, all right. So from here, so we know that later on, so when we want to add this frame generator into assembly, we only controlling two sizes. Okay, two dimensions. So now I go to my iPads. Okay, I can change the small diameter. So maybe spec number 1 only 3 mm, spec number 2 3.5, spec number 3 is 4 mm. Okay, and then I add different materials for each and every spec. So just to show some differences in colors, and it will also reflect the weight. Okay. So then this is done. So next we just need to alter this, or in other words, to save this into the Content Center libraries. Okay. So how do we do this? So I just first make sure that we have parameters. So user parameters for length, I usually use b_l equals to base length, and I put, just for equation, I just can put any numbers first. Okay. It doesn't matter because it will follow the length of the sketch. Okay. When we want to use it in an assembly after this. Okay. So once we check everything, so parameter is all correct. So we have our user parameter, which is the BL or base length. So next, we just need to go to our Alter tab. So it's under Manage tab, and then Alter panel. Okay, so you can see that there's okay, Manage tab, Alter panel, and then we have components over here. So we can choose the type of component that we want to load to our Content Center library. So in this case, we are loading in a new structural shapes into our Content Center. So let me just click on that structural shapes. So we are altering a new structural shape, okay, and adding it into our libraries. So again, okay, so to use this, we need to make sure it's an iPad and our parameters is set correctly. Okay, and then the rest is just pretty straightforward, where we need to specify what is the category of these components. So in this component is a structure shape, but under what category? So let's just put it as other. Okay, and it automatically detect the base extrusion. You can see it highlighted a red dot on the screen. Okay, also we can predefine or change if we need to. Okay, or change the default base point or the notch profile. So all this is doable from the dialog box. Okay, so we can predefine point or just select geometry. Okay, it's up to us. All right, and then we go to parameter mapping. So this is very important because we need to map. So base length is reflecting to which parameter. So in this case, we have BL. So just now I created BL, right? So B_L as the base length. Okay, and then scroll down. So all this is the information that we can link back to all our parameter. So, okay, in this example, I just use B_L as base length. Okay, so that looks good. So I can either click OK or publish now. Okay, so it's telling you the part has been modified and has been added into the library. So publish guide. So select library to publish to. It needs a read-write library. So if you don't have a read-write library, it will not show here. Okay, like just now I create a custom content library, but it's not showing. Okay, because probably I did not enable it. So let's just save it into my library. Okay, same category, other. Okay, next, just double check. The rest is more like double checking. So base length, correct. Next, okay. So under table column, so define family key column. So this is the information that we want to see whenever we want to change new size or new specs. Okay, in this case, let me just add all the BL ID, member, part number, and small diameter parameter as key columns. We can add more after. Okay, specify the family name. So what is the name of this new steel structure? Okay, descriptions. Okay, custom frame generator. Frame gen. Okay. All right, so and then family folder, so we can create new family folder name. If we want to, we can add the standard organizations, or let's say we want to custom the standard organization. We can also do that since this is a custom component. Let's just use our organization name as the standard organizations. Okay, to publish, and then publish completed successfully. All right. So now it's loaded into the Content Center already. So next, let's try and see how it works. Okay, see it in action. So this is our assembly. So I'm just going to use this sample sketch as the reference of the length, okay, on how to place the parts just now. Okay, so let me just open that sub-assembly just to show that this is how it looks like. So we will use this sketch to place our new frame generator profile. Okay, so and then we just go to design and insert our frame, and then we can choose the type. So in this case, just now we add others, right? So not much that we have. Okay, so let's say AIUM. So I have a standard AIUM standard. Okay, and then size. Okay, and then the three specs that I created earlier. So 3 specs or 3 size. Okay. Okay, and then we can also change the material if we want to. If we did not change the material, it will just follow the standard that we created in the library. Okay. Then what happened next is just I click at the sketch or the edge. Okay, you can see that now it shows that it's placed on the edge. Okay, just now I did not, or I forget to rotate it, so I redo again, and then I rotate it accordingly. So you need to look like this. Okay, rotated 90 degrees. You have a grid on the screen where you can rotate on the spot. Okay, just select that. Okay, and then we can just so-called apply. Okay, we can rename the file, the steel structure differently if you want to. Okay, and then this is the spec A. Right, so now let me just repeat again to create a new one with spec B. Okay, so same. Okay, so it remembers the previous selections. So let me just select for the second one. Okay, and then we'll see apply and create new frame. Okay, you can see the second one is gold in color because spec number 2, I purposely put the material as gold just to show the differences. Okay, and then maybe I change to spec number 3. Okay, now for the bottom one, change to the other specs. Okay, see if everything correct. So okay first. And it will update. So you see now it's using okay, so you can see 3 different colors with 3 different specs. Okay, let me just go here, see my iPad table. You see we have steel, alloy, gold, and copper. Okay, spec A, spec B, and spec C. So now let's see whether the measurement is correct or not. So earlier I just make what's the differences between all these spec just now was only the fillet radius. Remember, one is 3 mm, the other one is 3.5, and the last one is 4 mm. So let's just click and see here. So this is 3 mm, which is the spec A, which is at the moment it's correct. So now let's go to the frame number 2. Okay, spec number 2 or spec B, and just see the what you call it, the radius is 3.5. Okay, as per our iPad table earlier. And then let's see part number 3. Okay, so now 4 mm. So you can see selection number 2, radius is 4 mm. So which is now correct. So we have 3 different specs of new frame added into the libraries. Okay, so of course we can expand more. We can control all the parameters accordingly. Okay, so this is one simple examples that I used to explain. Okay, basically you can add and manage all the parameters that you can add into the Content Center libraries. All right, so that is on custom Inventor frame generator into Content Center. Oh, already shown the demo just now. Okay, so a quick recap. Okay, guide. There's a summary guide on how to custom your Content Center. First, of course, activate the correct project and then create and enable the read-write libraries, and then restructure Content Center, folder structure if necessary. Okay, copy Content Center parts into the read-write library. So your new read-write library, let's copy the Content Center into the locations. Okay, edit and add Content Center parameter. Okay, and then insert your new Content Center into the assembly, and then place it and verify the size and the properties is all correct according to what you added earlier. All right. Okay, so I'm at the end of the session. So let's see if we have some questions.